Childhood. Eleanor Tori Powell was born on November 21, 1912, in Springfield, Massachusetts. She was the only child of Clarence Powell, an insurance agent, and Blanche Tori Powell, a devoted homemaker. However, her early childhood was marked by instability when her parents separated while she was still a toddler. At just 2 years old, Eleanor found herself in the sole care of her mother, Blanche, who became the most influential figure in her life. Without a father figure present, Eleanor was raised in a household led by strong-willed women, her mother and maternal grandparents. They instilled in her a deep sense of discipline, humility, and moral integrity, values that she would carry throughout her life. Though her family was not wealthy, they provided a nurturing and structured environment that emphasized hard work and perseverance. Despite growing up in a supportive household, Eleanor was an extremely shy child. She would often retreat into her room whenever visitors came to the house, sometimes even hiding behind furniture or peeking through the curtains to avoid social interaction. Her shyness was so pronounced that she would refuse to even greet guests properly. Recognizing her daughter's introverted nature, Blanche Powell became determined to help Eleanor build confidence and social skills. To encourage Eleanor to break out of her shell, Blanche enrolled her in dance lessons when she was around 11 years old. She believed that structured physical activity and artistic expression could help Eleanor develop confidence and overcome her social anxieties. Eleanor's first dance instructor was Ralph McKernan, a well-known local teacher who trained many young talents. Under his guidance, she was introduced to classical ballet, interpretive dance, and acrobatic movements. Eleanor's natural grace and physical agility quickly became apparent. Despite her initial hesitation, she discovered a sense of joy and freedom in movement that she had never experienced before. Dance became an outlet where she could express herself without words, and for the first time in her life, she felt truly comfortable in the spotlight. Her talent was undeniable, and it wasn't long before she caught the attention of Gus Edwards, a prominent vaudeville talent scout. Edwards saw potential in Eleanor's precise and athletic style of dancing, which blended elements of ballet and acrobatics in a way that was both mesmerizing and unique. By the age of 12, Eleanor had already begun her professional career, performing for audiences at the Ritz Grill inside the Ambassador Hotel during the summer months. Though she was still just a child, she approached her craft with the discipline and determination of a seasoned performer. Her performances received positive attention, setting the stage for her future rise to stardom. Eleanor's family background played a significant role in shaping her character and values. After her parents' divorce, her mother, Blanche Powell, took on the responsibility of raising her alone, with support from Eleanor's maternal grandparents. The separation was not easy, but Blanche was a determined and resilient woman who dedicated herself to giving her daughter the best upbringing possible. Blanche was known to be a strict but loving mother. She emphasized the importance of discipline, good manners, and self-respect, ensuring that Eleanor remained grounded despite her early success in dance. She also encouraged Eleanor to uphold strong moral values, a principle that the young dancer would carry with her for the rest of her life. Though Eleanor's father, Clarence Powell, was largely absent from her life, there is little historical record of any strained relationship between them. However, it was clear that Blanche played the dominant parental role in Eleanor's upbringing. She was not just a mother, but also a mentor and guiding force in Eleanor's career. Blanche Powell was fully committed to supporting her daughter's dreams, even if it meant making personal sacrifices. She often accompanied Eleanor to dance classes, auditions, and performances, ensuring that she stayed focused and protected in the competitive entertainment industry. When Eleanor's career began to take off, Blanche made the bold decision to move with her daughter to New York City, leaving behind their familiar life in Massachusetts. This relocation, though risky, proved to be a pivotal step in Eleanor's journey toward Broadway and Hollywood fame. The values instilled in Eleanor during her childhood, humility, discipline, and an unwavering sense of integrity, remained with her throughout her career. She was never one to seek scandal or controversy, preferring instead to let her talent speak for itself. Even at the height of her fame, she remained deeply grounded, a testament to the strong foundation laid by her mother and grandparents. Eleanor's close bond with her mother lasted well into adulthood. Blanche continued to be a source of strength and guidance for her, especially during the more challenging times in her personal life. Career Eleanor Powell's journey to stardom was one of talent, resilience, and adaptation. She started young, landing her first professional gig at just 12 years old with Gus Edwards, a renowned vaudeville producer. Her impressive acrobatic skills and natural stage presence quickly set her apart from other young performers. Encouraged by her early success, Eleanor and her mother made the bold decision to move to New York in 1927, where she could pursue bigger opportunities on Broadway. However, breaking into Broadway wasn't as smooth as they had hoped. While Eleanor excelled in acrobatics and ballet, the dominant dance form on Broadway at the time was tap dance. Casting directors sought performers with refined tap skills, and despite her athletic prowess, Eleanor found herself at a disadvantage. Rather than being discouraged, she saw this as a challenge and immediately set out to master the art of tap. She began intensive training with renowned instructors Jack Donahue and Johnny Boyle. Unlike ballet, which emphasized lightness and elevation, tap dancing required a strong connection with the floor. To help her transition, her teachers devised a unique training method. They had her wear a weighted belt with sandbags on both sides to keep her grounded. The additional weight forced her to engage with the floor more dynamically, developing the powerful rhythmic footwork that would later become her signature. By the time she was 16, Eleanor had perfected her craft and secured a spot on the vaudeville circuit, performing alongside the legendary tap duo Buck and Bubbles. John Bubbles Sublette, often credited as the father of rhythm tap, became a significant influence on her style. Unlike traditional tap dancers who performed with light, bouncy steps, Bubbles introduced a heavier, more syncopated footwork that emphasized deeper rhythms. Eleanor was captivated by this technique and incorporated elements of it into her own dancing. Her performances soon caught the attention of Hollywood scouts, and by the early 1930s, she was on her way to becoming a film star. Unlike many female dancers of the era who were often relegated to supporting roles alongside male leads, Eleanor Powell was a solo powerhouse. She wasn't just a glamorous figure who danced to complement her male co-stars. She was the main attraction. Her unparalleled tap sequences and high-energy routines made her one of the most electrifying performers of her time. Eleanor Powell's rise to Hollywood stardom was nothing short of remarkable. Her breakthrough came when she signed with MGM, the most prestigious studio of the Golden Age. In 1935, she made her film debut in George White's Scandals, where her tap dancing captivated audiences and stole the show. Recognizing her immense talent, MGM quickly placed her in a series of high-profile musical films, cementing her reputation as the Queen of Tap Dance. Throughout the late 1930s and early 1940s, Powell became one of the most sought-after performers in Hollywood's musical scene. She dazzled audiences in Born to Dance, 1936, where her electric tap sequences were set to Cole Porter's classic song, You'd Be So Easy to Love. The following year, she starred in Broadway Melody of 1938, sharing the screen with a young Judy Garland, further establishing herself as a top-tier musical star. Her versatility shone in Rosalie, 1937, where she blended tap with ballet and acrobatics, and in Honolulu, 1939, where she introduced hula-inspired movements into her routines. However, it was Broadway Melody of 1940 that solidified her place in Hollywood history. In this film, she was paired with Fred Astaire in the legendary Begin the Beguine sequence, widely regarded as one of the finest tap duets ever filmed. What set Powell apart from other dancers of her era was not just her technical mastery, but also her sheer athleticism. She performed some of the most intricate and physically demanding tap routines ever seen on screen, combining rapid-fire footwork, effortless spins, and powerful jumps. Her background in acrobatics gave her an added level of dynamism, and she had a unique ability to merge classical ballet movements with tap, creating a style that was both elegant and high energy. MGM recognized her extraordinary talent and built musical numbers around her, an honor rarely given to female dancers at the time. While many women in Hollywood musicals were cast in supporting roles to complement male stars, Powell was different. She was the main attraction. Even the greatest dancers of the era, including Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly, acknowledged her unparalleled skill. Astaire himself once admitted that dancing alongside Powell was one of the few times he ever felt intimidated on screen. At the peak of her career, Eleanor Powell was more than just a dancer. She was a force of nature. Her groundbreaking performances and innovative approach to tap cemented her legacy as one of Hollywood's greatest entertainers, a title that remains unchallenged to this day. Despite her immense talent, Powell faced challenges in Hollywood. The entertainment industry at the time was still heavily male-dominated, and there were limited roles available for female solo dancers. By the early 1940s, Hollywood musicals were evolving, with a growing emphasis on romantic duets rather than solo showcases. In 1943, after years of grueling rehearsals, performances, and constant media attention, Powell decided to step away from Hollywood to focus on her personal life. She married actor Glenn Ford and shifted her priorities toward raising a family. However, despite leaving the big screen, she never completely abandoned her love for dance. During the mid-1940s, she made brief appearances in specialty dance numbers, such as Thousands Cheer, 1943, before officially retiring from film. After divorcing Glenn Ford in 1959, Powell found herself at a crossroads. Though she had been absent from Hollywood for many years, her passion for dance remained. Encouraged by her son, Peter Ford, she decided to return to performing, this time in the nightclub circuit. Powell reinvented herself for this new stage of her career, creating high-energy routines that merged her classic tap techniques with modern dance styles. She performed in major venues across the country, including Las Vegas, where she captivated audiences with her unique blend of ballet, acrobatics, and tap. Though she never returned to Hollywood in a major way, she did make a brief appearance in That's Entertainment, 1974, a documentary celebrating the golden era of MGM musicals. Her segment reminded audiences why she had once been the reigning queen of tap. Beyond performing, Powell also embraced a new role as a television personality. As a devout Christian, she became an ordained minister and hosted The Faith of Our Children, a Sunday morning program aimed at educating young audiences about morality and faith. Candle. Despite Eleanor Powell's incredible talent and widespread admiration, her personal life was not without controversy. While she was celebrated as the queen of tap dance, her strict moral values and reserved nature made her an anomaly in the glamorous, often scandal-filled world of Hollywood. Unlike many of her contemporaries who thrived on media attention, and publicized romances, Powell maintained a private, disciplined lifestyle, which sometimes led to misunderstandings and speculation. One of the biggest controversies surrounding Powell emerged when she married actor Glenn Ford in 1943. At the time, Ford was a rising Hollywood star, known for his charm and on-screen charisma. Their marriage seemed like a fairy tale union, but it soon became the subject of relentless gossip. The most persistent rumor was that Powell, at 29, was still a virgin when she married Ford. While her commitment to her religious beliefs and personal values was well known, many in the industry found it unusual, fueling endless debates about how it may have affected her marriage. Some speculated that Ford, accustomed to the fast-paced and often hedonistic Hollywood lifestyle, grew frustrated with Powell's strict views on intimacy and commitment. It was widely rumored that he began engaging in extramarital affairs not long after their wedding, leading to tension in their relationship. Critics questioned whether Powell's unwavering stance on morality and her reluctance to conform to Hollywood's more relaxed attitudes toward relationships may have contributed to their eventual separation. Others, however, placed the blame squarely on Ford, accusing him of lacking the maturity and commitment needed to uphold his vows. As their marriage unraveled, the press was relentless. Stories of Ford's alleged infidelity and Powell's unwavering dedication to her principles filled gossip columns. Powell, who had always preferred to keep her personal life out of the spotlight, found herself unwillingly thrust into a media frenzy. She chose not to publicly address the rumors, maintaining her dignity even as speculation continued to swirl. By the late 1950s, their relationship had deteriorated beyond repair, and Powell made the difficult decision to file for divorce. The process was not easy, especially given that they had a son, Peter Ford, whose well-being Powell prioritized above all else. At the time, California law stated that a child had the right to choose which parent to live with at the age of 14. Powell reportedly waited until Peter reached this age before finalizing the divorce, ensuring that he had a say in the custody arrangement. Following the divorce, Powell once again became the subject of Hollywood gossip. Many were surprised that she did not remarry or seek out another romantic relationship. Instead, she chose to focus on her career revival in nightclub performances and her spiritual journey. She became an ordained minister and dedicated much of her later years to spreading messages of faith and morality, reinforcing her image as a woman of integrity who refused to compromise her beliefs for fame or social acceptance. Marriage Eleanor Powell met Glenn Ford at a party hosted by Pat O'Brien. The moment Ford saw her, he was captivated by her elegance and beauty. They married in 1943 and had a son, Peter Ford. However, their marriage was far from happy. As Ford's career flourished, he became distant and frequently engaged in affairs. Eleanor, committed to her family values, endured the marriage for years, hoping to provide a stable home for their son. In 1959, she finally decided to divorce Ford when Peter turned 14, the legal age in California when a child could choose which parent to live with. After the divorce, Eleanor focused on her faith and became an ordained minister. She also reestablished her career in nightclub performances, proving that she still had the same mesmerizing talent that had made her a star. Other relationships. Unlike many Hollywood celebrities, Eleanor Powell wasn't known for multiple relationships or high-profile romances. She held steadfast to her moral values and chose to dedicate herself to her career, faith, and family rather than pursuing fleeting romantic encounters. Eleanor also became a devoted Christian minister and hosted The Faith of Our Children, a Sunday morning television program aimed at teaching religious and moral values to younger generations. Death: Eleanor Powell passed away from ovarian cancer at the age of 69. She died peacefully in her sleep after battling the illness for several months. The news of her death shocked fans and colleagues alike. Glenn Ford, despite their long-ended marriage, expressed his sorrow. "First my mother passed away, then my friend Bill Holden, and now dear Eleanor. I'm truly devastated." Although she had retired from performing by that time, Eleanor Powell's legacy remained. She is remembered as one of the greatest tap dancers in Hollywood history, a symbol of grace, talent, and unwavering principles in the entertainment industry.